Welcome to the Dispatch. You are listening to a primer on Jammu and Kashmir. Episode 38 brings to you the story of Jammu and Kashmir as it prevailed in the tumultuous days of 1947.
In the summer of 1947, Jammu and Kashmir stood at a critical junction. British paramountcy was ending, British India was being partitioned into two dominions, and more than 500 princely states were being told they would have to decide their future status. For Jammu and Kashmir, a large, strategically located, and internally diverse state, the question of accession arose amid an already complex political and social landscape. The Dogra monarchy under Maharaja Hari Singh still held formal authority. The administration, courts, and army functioned under his name. The Praja Sabha met, though with limited powers, and the state's legal position as a princely ally of the crown had not yet changed. At the same time, the political climate was very different from that of earlier decades. Mass politics had taken root in the Kashmir Valley, associational politics was active in Jammu, and organized parties represented competing visions of the state's future. In the valley, the National Conference under Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah had become the principal political force. Its program drew on the Naya Kashmir Manifesto and emphasized responsible government, civil rights, and an end to arbitrary rule. The Quit Kashmir agitation of 1946, though suppressed, had confirmed both the strength of the party's base and the depth of its disagreements with the monarchy. By 1947, Abdullah was still in prison, but his influence among large sections of the valley's population remained substantial. Many of his supporters looked toward a future in which Jammu and Kashmir would be linked to an independent, democratic India under a constitutional framework. Alongside this, other political currents remained active. The Muslim Conference, led by Chaudhry Ghulam Abbas, retained influence, especially in parts of Jammu province such as Mirpur and Poonch, and among some segments in the valley. Its leadership emphasized the Muslim majority character of the state and followed developments in the All India Muslim League with close attention. Religious leadership circles, including those associated with the Mirwais institution, also maintained their own constituencies and perspectives. Politics in the valley, therefore, was not monolithic. It contained multiple voices, even if the National Conference was the most prominent. In Jammu, the political picture was more fragmented. Hindu and Sikh organizations, including regional branches of the Hindu Mahasabha, caste and community associations, and civic groups expressed concerns about representation, regional development, and constitutional arrangements. Leaders such as Pandit Premnath Dogra, Girdhari Lal Dogra, Sardar Budh Singh, and others represented different strands of opinion. Many in Jammu watched the approach of partition with anxiety about security, trade routes, and political balance within the state. The wider context was shaped by developments in British India. The Cabinet Mission Plan, the decision to partition, and the announcement that princely states would be free to accede to either dominion or, formally, to remain independent, all affected Jammu and Kashmir. For a landlocked state with road and rail links running primarily through what would become India and Pakistan, the abstract legal choice was intertwined with geography and security. Discussions in Delhi, Karachi, and among princely rulers made clear that independence for a state like Jammu and Kashmir would be difficult to sustain in practice. Within this framework, public expectations were diverse. Many in the valley, especially among National Conference supporters, hoped for democratic self-government within a larger Indian constitutional structure. Some in Jammu, influenced by different political traditions, prioritized regional safeguards and stability. Sections of opinion, particularly those close to the Muslim Conference, followed the emerging politics of Pakistan with interest and sympathy. The Maharaja himself, cautious and protective of his authority, initially sought to delay a final decision, exploring the idea of retaining maximum autonomy while negotiating with both dominions. By mid 1947, therefore, Jammu and Kashmir was a state with a legally autonomous ruler, a politically active population, and sharply differing assessments of what would best secure its future. The question of accession was not yet decided, but the conditions in which it would soon be addressed were already set. A diverse society, a monarchy under pressure, organized parties with conflicting programs, and a subcontinent undergoing rapid and often violent transformation. The decisions taken later that year cannot be understood without this background. On the eve of 1947, Jammu and Kashmir was not a blank slate. It was a politically awake, internally varied state confronting a choice shaped alike by geography, demography, and the powerful currents of Indian and regional history.
Thanks for watching this episode of Primer on Jammu and Kashmir. Here is a quick note from the editors of the Dispatch. While dealing with historical events, we are conscious of the fact that history has no single view. In places like Jammu and Kashmir, this can be more complicated. While explaining the events of history through this primer, we are taking the best possible care to be objective and to offer context wherever views differ starkly. We welcome you to write to us and enrich the knowledge base on Jammu and Kashmir.